How's it going, guys? This is Patrick James here. I'm here with Douglas Forlano, the man. And we're going to talk about kind of his story and what he does, because if you haven't heard of him, he is the Millionaire Mentee, is what he likes to go by. Is that what
you've been sleeping under a rock?
Yeah. And he's a born hustler.
Yep.
All right? This guy hustles. And he's so motivated, and he's always in such a great state. So I want to kind of explore like what he does to stay in that state, how he stays so motivated, and how he hustles the way he does. So let's get this interview started. How's it going, Doug?
You do that?
Yeah.
It's going so stupendous today. Blessed.
Dude, what's your little it's like slam poetry, how you start out every video. What is that?
Oh yeah. Hey, it's Dougie fresh in the flesh. It'll give you my best to the last breath, yes, sizzling and delivering with zeal and zest, help you on your quest of becoming your best and to keep you in check. I'm in full effect and here to knock you out of your comfort nest once again, my friend, because today we're talking about whatever we're talking about, and that's how I set the tone and start strong on every video.
That's awesome. That's like a Tony Robbins incantation almost.
It is, because it puts me in a good state before every video. People are like, how do you have good energy in every video? And I usually, if I don't do it, it's okay. If you video blog, it's okay to not be high energy all the time. Yeah. I think that's a myth. It's good to be congruent when you're just talking to it. But When I do that, I just end up, it's kind of like what you said, an incantation, where I feel very energized after it.
Yeah. I like how you do like the punch and you move the camera back. That's awesome.
Yeah, you like that. I love it too. I thought it was cool.
That's great. No, but like tell us a little bit about your story and how you got started into this whole industry.
Okay. Yeah, man. Well, I'm no different from most people watching this. Yeah. Life's like theirs. Family's like theirs. Grew up in Norristown, PA. I wrestled, soccer, baseball, athletic kid, high energy. Was positive to some degree until, once I got into personal development, I really focused my energy on better things than not just drinking and partying. So I went to college at IUP, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and it was there that I became a leader, that I became a champion. But it wasn't until I had my failures. Okay. Only after I failed forward fast and learned from those experiences, I then got humbled. Be humble or be humbled, Tony Robbins or Jim Rohn says. I heard it from Tony Robbins, and that's so true, because I then had the pain, I had the leverage, where I said, I got to get it together. I'm better than this. Yeah.
What were some of those failures?
Once this shit hit the fan. Okay, so the first one, the main big one, it was just trouble with the law, getting in trouble with the law. I got in trouble going to a concert. And once that happened, I said, enough is enough. I've had it. There's a knowledge gap here. Yeah. I need to fill it. I'll do whatever it takes. This is not going to happen anymore. No more. There needs to be a change. And with tears going down my eyes, I flipped open my laptop and I thought of someone else who's been through some trouble that overcame it. And I thought of Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Michael Vick.
Yes. And
he was killing it at the time with the Eagles. Such a positive attitude. He overcame his trouble. His life came crashing down on him. And he was doing so well. He made a foundation where he's helping more dogs than he hurt. And I got his book, Express Shipping, and I read it, and I didn't feel alone when I was challenged. So from there, I moved forward, and then I found out about more things like Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn. I listened to them, and I actually practiced what they said, and I kept a journal. I've been keeping a journal for over 3 years, every single day, and that's been a very good tool for me, planning my day and just getting organized, because that was my weakness before, and I just kind of sharpened that and turned it into a strength of mine.
Right.
And then I did even more, where I cultivate more practices and learn from more teachers and more mentors and models online, like Elliot Hulse. And let's see here. I got my bookshelf back there. It's one of my many bookshelves.
Yeah. First off, that's a badass picture.
Wayne Dyer, Dan Millman, John Maxwell, just everybody. And I just learned and absorbed. And then it wasn't until I got with them in person that made the big difference.
Right. So I heard your story once about how you basically met Elliot Hulse and got him as your mentor. Can you explain how that story planned out?
Yes. So it kind of goes in alignment with what I was just saying. So after getting in trouble and learning from it and getting all these mentors online, like everybody else has, right?
Yeah.
That's not good enough. You got to get them in person.
Yeah.
Because your environment affects you extraordinarily.
Extraordinary.
So I became the person I had to be when I was with Elliot. I was prepared. So let's see. When I was in college, I won 5Ks. I became president of the Exercise Science Club, which I studied exercise science. I got a 4.0. I cultivated the virtues he talked about in his videos as I watched his videos every single day for 2 years in a row. Discipline, commitment, things like this. I meditated on a daily level. But I actually wrote him down. I wanted him as a mentor. I wrote a list of 20 people, 20 teachers I have. I circled 5 of who I'd like to learn from, and then starred and highlighted the number 1, and he was that one.
Gotcha.
And he stopped making videos, so I went to his seminar. It was $500, plane ticket. I never traveled alone really, and it was a couple thousand miles from Pittsburgh to Tampa, and I just booked the plane ticket, got the hotel, like everything. I just did it all,
and you went with
it was
no
scary.
idea that
it was very scary.
So before you booked the plane ticket, you had no idea you're going to meet him. You just were determined to make it happen.
Well, I knew he was going to be there, and I didn't know how many. I didn't know it was my first seminar. Well, it wasn't my first seminar, but it was like the first big seminar like that.
Okay.
So I didn't know. I thought I'd get a chance to thank him.
Yeah.
So I actually took my Halloween costume, which was a king, warrior, magician, lover, Rocky championship. So I had my WWE title belt and my Rocky shorts. I didn't bring those, but I brought my king, warrior, magician, lover costume, which is one of his favorite books, favorite ideas, and I brought that with me. I won two Halloween costume contests with it. It was a King of Hearts with a wizard beard and a warrior sword. And as I saw him, as I waited in line, there was like 105 people there total. I gave him that Halloween costume. I was the only one to give him a gift, I believe. And I'll ask him that to find out. And I wrote this illustrious card, and I gave him those gifts. And I think that's one thing that helped me stick out.
Yeah.
And then the weekend was great. We chatted up, I think, later when we went out to eat. But nothing big came from that. The best thing that came from that was the people I met. It was one of the first times I didn't feel alone.
Right.
I felt understood. Other people into the stuff I'm into. People like-minded people who follow someone like Elliot. So that, and then we created Mastermind. I stayed in contact with about 10 people from there every single month for the next year, which is what a lot of people don't do at events that I've leveraged enormously. So yeah, after that, I met Elliot. That was great. About 6 or 8 months later, I see something on Facebook saying strength camp internships. I said, forget the Super Bowl, which was on. I was ready to watch after a long 13-hour day at the University of Pittsburgh. My feet smelled so bad because I was on them all day. Yeah. I was exhausted. I was tired. I had homework. And I was going to watch the Super Bowl and just let go. Yeah. I said, no. My brain just activated. The whole thing turned on and lit up. And I basically made 8 videos till the last one was perfect. And I sent it in. And they said, keep up the great work. I was prepared. I was getting certified in strength conditioning. I was a student of Elliot. So they knew who I was because they met me. Chris Bernard met me. So I ended up 3 months later, they get back in touch with me. I was very persistent as well. Yeah. And I got an interview with them, and then I got the position. Wow. An internship. Wow was right, and I didn't have the money to go down there. So wow was like a pow. So I was a little sad. Yeah. So I found a way. I didn't have the resources, but I became resourceful, and I won $1,000 from Tai Lopez, and I wanted more money, so I asked a couple people for money. Without even me asking, another friend gave me another $1,000, and I started working as quick as I can, doing whatever, sold stuff to get money, whatever I could. And I booked the plane ticket, and I went down there. Yeah. As soon as I graduated college, within 4 days, boom. And when I was there, the seed was planted, and I started to blossom fast.
Wow. How long did it take you to raise all that money, like the time period?
Let's think. May. Well, it was before May. I graduated college May 9th. Yeah. I went down to strength camp May 13th, May 15th, and I was researching. I was going to live homeless. I was looking up homeless places to live. Wow. I believe Tai Lopez gave me the money like May 2nd. So it took me about 2 weeks.
Okay. And this was last year or the year before?
This was just last May, so under a year ago. Man, I'm so excited about it.
Were you at
time flies.
Were you at the mentor conference that Tai Lopez had in April last year?
No, I was not.
Okay. Yeah, I was there,
But
and I remember seeing him give out money. So that's interesting to hear that you were one of the people that he gave money to.
I was one of the people, and I was the first one. I was one of the first people to do that, to win that.
Yeah.
Now he gives away stuff like crazy, but I was the first one to do it, and I hope he sees that I've done it. I've used it successfully because I told him I'm getting Elliot Hulse as a mentor, and I did that.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't have that intention. Really, I just wanted to go be around the people.
Yeah, environmental exposure for sure. Dude, that is a really awesome story to hear, like the persistence. And it reminds me of, I'm reading the biography right now of, what's his name? Jerry Weintraub. I'm sure you read that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why I did the 67 steps, and that was one of the steps, and I applied it.
Yeah, dude, that's so awesome. It reminds me of him raising like $1 million in a day to go find Elvis Presley. Dude, that is badass. So
right.
A lot of people, if you haven't seen Doug's videos, he makes these 15-second clips, posts them on Facebook, posts them on Instagram, and they're like super motivational, and they're different every day. That's what
different.
Yeah.
They infuse the environment. So there's a metaphor. I read a book, Moonwalking with Einstein, memory experts, one of the best memory guys in the world. He says if you can incorporate rhyming, which I do, I mentioned we started the video. Yeah. If you can incorporate alliteration, okay? Yeah. That's why I do alliteration. Magnificent Monday, Motivated Monday, Wisdom Wednesday, Thankfulness Thursday, Focus Friday. So I alliterate so it can stick in people's brains because I want it to help people. Yeah. I want it to make a difference. Even if it's on a subconscious level, if people can find some empowering shift in their day, and I get it. I just went back to my college after 10 months. I literally had over 100 people tell me how much their videos helped them.
Wow.
And I had to dig a little bit, but then I finally found some actually tangible results besides they're positive. I love them, but it was great to hear they actually made a real impact. So yeah, the videos, they're alliteration based, and I use something from the environment most times where you'll see the example, like a picture or an actual visual of it happening, of what I'm saying. So it could be what was one I did Screw Saturday at the Tony Robbins conference, and I took a screw and I screwed it like Screw Saturday. When life screws you, you're actually getting screwed into place. That's an example of many that I do.
That is awesome. Metaphor and alliteration, dude, that's perfect. One of my favorite ones was Wall Wednesday. You just like that same wall.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones too.
Yeah, dude. So I'm curious, how do you manage to stay in a good state, or even when you don't feel like you're in a great state, how do you bring yourself out of that? Because as we know, or as you should know, everything in your life revolves around the state you're in. If you're in a great state, you're going to get great results. How do you do that?
Yes, I think I am a master of that. And people ask me this often. And it's just a standard, first of all, I set for myself that I want to bring the best energy. It's not even for me. First of all, it's bigger than me. It's for other people. Right. So, and it's usually around other people. People don't see me when I'm alone. Yeah. But when I'm with people, I'm always bringing my best. I'm an extrovert, so I automatically get fired up. But even by myself, I like to be intense and be passionate and be playful and be persistent and be present. And present is a key with breathing. So a combination of those P words, which can go in the P hole of powerful, and this being in a powerful state, a beautiful state, is a beautiful and powerful thing. So I value it. Number one, I value it. I value it, and I mentioned earlier, it's not the state is not just for me to feel good; it's for others to feel good around me and to infect their states with positivity. So that's 2. 3, I have the habits that lift me up. So I have higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. Like my life just keep getting better and better and better. My lows are higher. My lows are higher. My lows are even higher and flyer than ever before. Wow. So habits like keeping a journal I mentioned earlier.
Right.
Even this new thing I've been doing where I put these little journals at Barnes & Noble where they ask you questions and you just free write. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I also do things like gratitude journaling. This is my gratitude journal. I've been doing this for over a year. This is maybe another secret of how I got mentored. Just writing every day what you're grateful for. Every day, no matter what you appreciate in life. This is my first one. Boom. And I think there's something to be said about it. What you appreciate appreciates. So that helps me get in that higher state. I think gratitude's a great thing because if we could trade our, I heard Tony Robbins say this, not last time I heard him, but in yo, what's up, bro?
What's up, Doug?
This is my buddy Z.
Yo, what's going on? Continue.
So I saw Tony Robbins twice in 1 month. So what a blessing that was. But last month I heard him in Arizona, where we almost met up. He said, if you can trade your expectation for appreciation, your life will change forever. And I try to practice that. Yeah. But when it comes down to it, it's the habits. It's the getting good sleep and being rested. Yeah. Eating as optimally as you can.
Right.
Awesome. Reading good books and getting information that is empowering and habitually being around great people. These things add up and they really make it different. Your lifestyle is going to shift you and you'll be in a positive state more often. And meditating, you know. Yeah. So really, I'll make an analogy because I love these metaphors and analogies. It's like running. When you're running, there's two things that make you go faster: stride length and stride frequency. If I can be in a better state more frequently, boom, that's the frequently of the repetitions of the running. So my legs are moving faster. I'm in the state more often. And then the stride length is the step. So maybe a 6-foot guy could outrun me because he has a longer reach in his step. So his step is a lot longer. So how long? What's my duration of these positive, blissful states? So if I can maximize both of them, I can be a more dominant force in my life and others. But it comes down to valuing at the end of the day. Do you know the importance of a state? And when you're in a down state, do you have the tools to get out of it? So a fourth thing I'll say is, destroy, demolish, disintegrate, and devour those limiting states because they don't serve you. They just don't support you. So if I'm in a bad state, why am I in a bad state? I'm aware of my thoughts because I meditate and eat healthy. I'm aware of my thoughts if I'm saying some things like, I'm too young. Oh, I can do what Tony did and says, that's bullshit. The truth is, I have what everybody wants. I have energy. Right. You know? Or who am I to make all these 600 videos on YouTube and hundreds of videos on Instagram and offer creations of mine and products? Right. Who am I? Well, who am I not? I'm a child of God. I'm someone who has infinite power like everybody else. I have a PhD in results. I have a college. I could stack references of what works and of what positive experiences I had in the past. I've already helped these people. I can help them too. And I just get excited. And when that voice comes up of you're not good enough, I can be like, you're not good enough. Yeah, I don't know if I can kind of really do it. And I make fun of it. So if I laugh, it causes that laughter where I could change the state fast. I love that. And I learned that, and it's served me sensationally. And I'm still figuring out in the journey. Yeah. And I'm accepting of myself on a great state. But when it comes down to it, smile and breathe. That's the best thing you can do. The simplest advice.
Dude, that's so awesome. Two things that I love that you said there was the habit. Just like the habit of meditating or journaling every day. I've realized it myself, like if I break my good habits, my self-esteem is even lower. But if I just discipline myself to do the habit, I have a higher self-esteem and I'm naturally in a higher high and even my lows are higher, like you said. And another thing about being in a great state is I was talking to Z this morning about this guy who's kind of like seeking both of us as like mentorship and stuff because he sees our videos. And we've Skyped with him a couple of times. And even though he's coming to us for advice, just because he's in such a great state and he's so grateful, it brings me up and I want to help him more. So that just goes to show, like you said, being in a great state brings others around you up too. Yeah,
it does. And it's helped me at strength camp. Like so they've told me at strength camp, I made everybody feel grateful and it really positively influenced them and it made a difference. When I went to the mansion in the Hollywood Hills, I had a lot of people feeling grateful. Like I was a good energy to be around. So I was like, oh, this is young energy. I like this, you know. Yeah. He can say it for free. It's just good.
Dude, RSD Tyler.
It can go a long way.
You stayed at the RSD mansion, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I heard RSD Tyler or Owen say once that he loves hanging out with the younger guys because they're so like motivating. They have such high energy and it brings him up. And that's exactly what you said right there.
And that's exactly where I got it from and learned it from. The same exact place, listening to it on my iPod, my audio. Really? And I actually went and lived it. That's the first time I heard that.
From Owen?
So we both heard from the same place. Yep.
Wow, that is awesome.
That's money.
Yeah. Dude, that is so great. I love this interview, and I love like all 5 of those things that you just said about how to bring yourself in a great state, and just that gratitude, man. Having gratitude for life and being self-aware of when you're in a bad state, and being able to bring yourself out of it and realize, being self-aware that it's not helping you at all, and it's not helping the people around you. That's awesome.
I'm gonna interject real quick, bro. I have to say the fucking when you have the little thought loop in your head and you just fucking like twist, you change the voice up a little bit. It's like that's just hilarious. I love that's money. That's a money.
It's powerful. It's money.
It's a money situation.
It'll make you money too.
Yeah, that's the thing. One of the things I teach a lot of my guys is like every single word that comes out of your mouth is fucking money. And when you think about that shit like that, when you just fucking say that shit, it's dope. So if you start saying shit like that's not as cool in your head, you start fucking the words up around. Ooh, that's a brilliant concoction.
Hell yeah. High five through the screen. High five through the screen.
Homie.
High five.
All right, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. Good to meet you, man.
Hey, great to meet you as well.
Yeah.
This is a great interview. I'm grateful for this interview.
Yeah, I'm gonna connect with you at some point. We're gonna talk more, okay?
Hey, it makes the interview more exciting and dynamic and different, so I like it.
That's how we do. All right,
Yeah.
I'll leave you guys to it.
That's how I do.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, my name is Z, last letter of the alphabet. I'll hit you up and we'll kick it sometime.
For sure. Please do.
Dude, talk about environmental exposure, like how you've been going on. Z lives in a huge mansion in Vegas, and he's like, dude, do you want to come work this week at my house? It's like, fuck yeah, it raises my standards. Just being in here. So, dude,
So you're in Vegas right now?
What's up?
Are you in Vegas right now?
I am in Vegas right now.
Dope. So yeah, environment, and that's a great place to be in Vegas with him too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I can talk about that because I've walked that, and I think a lot of people they just don't even know it. Meaning, your environment affects you extremely. Another thing I recently learned from Tony Robbins is the study he talked about, where this is just an example. There was a person who walked down the street, and as they were walking, he gave a person a nice iced coffee, an iced drink, and he did it to about 50 people. Then he did it with a warm, hot coffee and did it to 50 people. Then afterwards, another person came over and said, hey, can you fill out this form? It'll just take a couple minutes. I'll give you $5. And they filled it out, and it turned out the person who received and held the hot, warm coffee described the person to give it to them to be warm, generous, kind, receptive, as instead the cold cup of coffee or whatever it was, whoever gave it to the person to hold, they said that person, check this out, was cold, distant, rude. Whoa. So it affects you on such a micro level.
Wow.
Such a micro level, your environment. So Jim Rohn said you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
But I never felt it like that. But once I went to strength camp, I grew 20 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
When I went to the Hollywood Hills, I doubled my income, tripled, quadrupled my income.
Holy.
So it is enormous how it can affect you.
Yeah.
I eat so much better learning from someone like Mark Dhamma. Okay, Mark Dhamma taught me so much about nutrition. Till this day, it's like his voice, his English accent is in the back of my head as I'm about to eat into something I shouldn't with too much sugar.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's so great. And language, vocabulary is a big predictor of success. So like that rubs off on you. Confidence, what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. It impacts you because if you're in a room with other successful people, it pulls you up. I was hanging with Elliot in Miami Beach a couple weeks ago, and by being around him, there's a different standard. I want to be more grateful. I want to be more present. I want to be more aware. I want to be my best. Wow. So that makes a difference. If you're the smartest person in a room, you need to find a new room.
Yeah.
I loved being the dumbest person in the room in the Hollywood Hills mansion, like what you mentioned. Like I was learning, I was listening, I was in that 33% above me, and it just affects you in so many ways, and I'm so grateful for it.
Were you assisting?
And I'm gonna pay it forward, and I'm gonna, create something like that of my own one day. And I've already did with my coaching program. So it's just a blessing, and it's important. So value it as well and change it. It's just so advantageous to you in every part of your life. It's a must, absolute must. With the capital MUST exclamation point.
Consciously control your environment.
Yep.
Awesome.
Because if you don't, your environment is going to control you.
Right. Dude, so I know I've struggled with this personally. When I'm consciously, I'll cut people out if they're super negative influences to me, and even if they don't mean to do it. But sometimes I feel like I'm being mean when I do that. Do you ever go through that? And if so, how do you deal with that?
I don't know if I go through that a lot.
Okay.
Because I think people get it.
Okay.
For the most part, people will get it. I never have to tell people. If I will if I have to.
Yeah.
But they see me doing my thing.
Yeah.
They know. It's like John Maxwell talks about the 5th level of leadership.
Right.
Or what Elliot Hulse has. Just by being around them, they want to live up to your standards.
Right.
And if they're not, cool. I'm going to overcome it for that time being. Or I'm going to learn from what not to do. Or I'm going to experiment and dabble in it at the surface level. Yeah. And if it starts affecting me, I'm going to notice it and back off. But I don't have to tell them. But if I did, I'd say, hey, I'm going to get going. I got this to do. And I just don't try to offend them too much. But the truth is, if I'm with someone that I grew up with and they're not open to change, or they're not open to my ideas, I'm not going to be open to their ideas either. And I'm outgrowing them, and I might have to tell you straight up, I feel like I'm outgrowing you. I care about you. I want you to, the soda's not serving you. Okay, that's 50 grams of sugar. Let me teach, right? Show them in an effective way. So I might put the sugar in a Ziploc and say, hey, this is 52 grams of sugar you're eating in the soda. Is this the kind of life you want to create? Disease? Has anyone in your family had disease? Could you want to end up like them? And just show them. If that doesn't work, say, hey, man, you look up to this athlete. Well, he don't drink that. You think he's drinking this? He might promote it. He might promote McDonald's. He ain't eating that stuff. Yeah. And I show him the truth. And I really just shed light on it.
Awesome.
At the end of the day.
Dude, that's so great. Dude, I love your energy. Love your style, man.
Thank you.
Let's try to I want to keep these videos short, so I definitely want to bring you back in the future to talk more about, dude, your zest for life, your gratitude, your presence. But I've enjoyed this interview so much. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah. If there's anything else you want to ask me, feel free. I got another 5-10 minutes. 5-10 minutes.
Dude, talk about more how you met the RSD guys, because I know a lot of people want to get in with them. Talk about that.
Okay, cool. So this is actually interesting, and there's a lot more to my story. This is another part of it. Mm-hmm. So I was at strength camp one day, and I'm there every day when I was there. And this one specific day, though, this guy comes walking on into the building, and I see him come in, and I hear the other workers talk about it. They say it's Jarek Robbins. They said it's Tony Robbins' son, his only biological real son. So I'm like, interesting. I did some research on him, and as soon as the interview was over, he was about to leave. Nobody, the other coaches, the other interns, the other video guys, they're not going to talk to him. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to say hi. So I went over there and I just introduced myself, and I said, hey, I like this about your TED Talk. I didn't want to say, hey, your dad's the best. He changed my life. Awaken the giant within. Yeah, like other people probably do. Yeah. So I just praised and thanked him for what I learned. I showed him what I learned from him just in the short time of watching his videos. Yeah. And then I shared something I was passionate about, like Elliot Hulse, how I met Elliot and how I got here. Yeah. So by the law of state transference, he could feel that passion. Right. And he told me I was passionate. And, I connected with him on a couple levels. His wife's a yoga instructor. Yeah. I'm a yoga instructor. I'm here in Tampa. So it's cool. I like the city. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Then I ended up contacting him on LinkedIn a week later. He said, why not? Let's reach out to him. Yeah. And he said, let's hang out. So we hung out in Tampa, and we got together, and we did some yoga, and we got some juice. And I told him about Tai Lopez. I was really passionate about Tai and how he is the second biggest book club in the world behind Oprah. I read the book a day, and how maybe it can help you with your book. And he actually ended up going out there and meeting him. And he spoke to Dhamma. Well, Jarek Robbins said this Mark told me, Jarek said, "Do you know Dougie?" And he says, he actually comments on my Instagram videos, which I did, because that's where I got the idea for the 15-second Instagram videos, was from Mark Dhamma.
Really?
So then from there, Jarek told Mark, this guy, Dougie, he's the one guy, the actual person that listens to all this personal development stuff that actually takes action on it. So you have to meet him. So Mark was like, whoa, that's the type of person I like to be around. I'm going to reach out to him. So Mark called me up. We spoke 40 minutes, and he invited me out there to the West Coast. And it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So my heart told me if I don't do this, I'll regret it.
That's awesome.
So that night, I booked the plane ticket.
So
and then I found out that inside information that it's greater than I thought out there. That Farhan is he was an intern for Strength Camp. He said like it's a really good place to be. The RSD instructors are there. It's a lot of positive people out there. And I actually saw it, and I kind of knew about it too. Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, this is gonna be great. Time to upgrade my environment even more. Mm-hmm. So I just went out there and figured it out. And again, I had to raise money. I started a GoFundMe account. I got a job. I collected money. I got donations. I went out there, and that's it just was me around. And some RSD instructors did live there. Madison and Sam, Julian, and they were there. Yeah. So I tried to offer value whatever way I could. Yeah. And became friends with them.
Wow, that is awesome, dude. Your story. I gave a metaphor the other day in a video of mine, and your story is perfectly a real life example of this. I basically said, listen, I live in Arizona right now, and let's say I want to get to California. And I don't know how to get to California. I don't have money for a plane ticket. I don't have a car. But I could do one of two things. Most people would say, I don't know how I'm going to get to California, so I'm going to sit right here in this box where I know I'm safe. And, I don't know how to get there, so I'm just going to stay here. I mean, it's a far-off dream. Whereas the other hand, I could say, listen, I don't have a car. My friends, I don't want to ask them for money. I can't get a plane ticket. But you know what? I'm just going to start walking. I'm just going to start walking to California right now. And I was like, in that example, one way or the other, you're going to get there. It might take a week. It might take 10 hours. It might take a year. But if you keep physically walking, you will get there. And the funny thing happens, and this is your story right here, is once you start walking, maybe 20 miles into the walk, someone pulls over and says, dude, where are you going? And you say, listen, I don't know how I'm going to get to California, but I just want to start walking. I'm going to get there eventually. It's going to happen. So I just started walking. And he goes, you know what? I like your style. You have spunk. You have charisma. You have drive. I like that spirit. I'm going to give you a ride for at least 100 miles. That's the best I can do. And maybe he takes you 100 miles, and when you get there, you start walking, and another person pulls over, and he goes, dude, why are you walking? Like, what are you doing? You go, dude, I'm walking to California. And maybe he says, you know what? You're awesome. I want to get you to California tonight. I'm going to buy you a plane ticket. Wow. And just like that, you're there because you decided to start walking. And you didn't know how you're going to get there, but you said, you know what? I'm going to get there. And your story reminds me of that metaphor perfectly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that story.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I feel like that is a reflection of what some of the things I've done. And I'm not the only one to do it. Other people have done this. And I look at those examples, and I think of that when it's time to take that leap and take that jump of faith and hope that the net will appear and know that I don't even need that net because at the end of the day, I can spread my wings and head to better things.
Right, exactly.
And I'd even add to this with the RSD instructors. I went to all the events, man. I went to the free tours. I went to the events, the hot seats. Like I wanted to make a difference. I tried to help them shoot videos, whatever I could do. And that's with anyone I believe in and want to learn from and be a student of. Yeah. So I'm grateful for them and grateful for, the society that we're able to have that today.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, to close out this little conversation that we just had, tell the guys where they can find more of your information if they want to find you.
Okay, so you can find me. Flip out your phone. You can go right to Instagram and follow me. It's Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh 44 on Instagram, where you will get daily videos and inspiration. I give cornucopia of value on there. And I also have a Snapchat now that has been very fun, and I've been giving a voltage of value, like just electrifying energy. I'm showing you my habits. I'm showing you behind the scenes of success, other people, traveling. It's fun. and just a lot of value. What I'm reading, it's like tons of great stuff. And that's Dougie Blessed. So that's Blessed, BLESSED 44. That's Dougie Blessed on Snapchat. Dougie Blessed 44, and that's on Twitter as well. And my YouTube is the final thing. That's Dougie Forlano. That's Forlano. And yeah, join me on the journey, and I'm excited to share what I'm learning with you guys and inspire you guys.
Cool. And I'm going to put all those links somewhere around this video. They might be below. They might be on the side. Either way, great talking to you, Doug. And hopefully we'll talk soon again.
Right. And I just want to share what I do. I teach people, young men, how to get a mentor. Okay. A mentor can help you soar, score, bust through the door, and roar. Go from the floor to getting more, finding out what's in your core, and showing you all you got in store. I've been blessed with mentors. I want to help you get a mentor. So please check out some of my stuff on that. And I'll be happy to support you on that, because Leonardo DiCaprio, Leonardo da Vinci, Stephen Hawking, Oprah, Tony Robbins, all these greats we talk about, all the greats have mentors. So if you want to be great, you got to get a mentor. So I'd love to help you on that journey. This was fun. Thanks so much. Stay fresh. Stay blessed. Yes.
Yes. See you guys.
Thanks, PJ.